to the mom of his mom.
everyone. It is 7:01. I call the meeting to order. Stephanie, you can pass out the signing of the attendance sheet, and then we'll move on to approval of the agenda. Are there any amendments to the agenda? Heather?
I move to change Caitlin Porter to a consent item instead of an action item.
Consent, okay. Amy? We are seeing.
I move to strike the academic resolution and supervise president's reports.
Martin?
I move to strike the student welfare programming fund.
Student loans and programming fund. Okay, and then you still want Ezra?
Yes, so on this,
Okay.
given that staff is not happy with policy, I move to strike the DC,
Okay. Are there any other amendments to the agenda? Seeing none, we'll go into a vote. Someone make a motion? Heather?
I move to approve the agenda as amended.
Is there a second? Second by Trent. All those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Those against? And those abstain? So 11, 0 vote. The agenda has been approved as amended. Next up, we'll move to approval of the minutes from February 16th. Are there any amendments to the minutes? Amy? And maybe if you want to send, if you have like a breakdown, just to make sure all the numbers are right, that'd be easiest. That'd be easy for you. Yeah, okay, perfect. I have this. Okay. Are there any other amendments to the minutes? Seeing none, taking a motion? A motion. Heather?
I move to approve the minutes as amended.
Is there a second? Second by Zach. All those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And those against? Those abstained? To the 11, 0 vote, the minutes have been approved as amended. Next up, we'll go to public comment. For public commenters in the room, the first round of public comments will be audio only, so you will not be seen on USAC what I just heard. You have 2 minutes for public comments. I will be timing you. You will be asked to stop at exactly 2 minutes. So we'll go for our first round, which is audio only.
Everybody, from all the students at CLA. So first, I'll give an update about our background campaign. So we collected nearly 2,000 promises from students who voted yes back then on the 2016 ballot. And for our textbooks campaign, we'll be holding trainings on how to talk with professors about their switching to open source. So if anyone is interested, please contact me or go to her talk 160. Also, we have 2 big events coming up. So in March 2nd to 4th, we'll be holding our statewide conference at UC Davis. So all the corporate chapters will be going, and with our professional advocates, we'll be logging elected officials in Sacramento and having them support the background campaign. So if anybody's interested here, again, please contact me. And for our spring break, we will be holding an alternative spring break support. So we'll be going to all the major beaches on the coast and holding press conferences for media and public awareness about the background campaign. Right now, I'm leading a team to identify leaders here on campus and also in our city hall to be potential speakers. So I'll send out emails to everybody. So thank you.
Thank you. We'll keep going along for audio only public comment. Okay, seeing no more audio, we'll go and turn on the visual for USAC Live. This is for audio and visual public comment. In your 2 minutes.
Hi everyone, good morning. I just want to say happy birthday to Alia, Gemma too, who was at not so long her birthday, got to drop some knowledge about Islamophobia instead of doing anything else, and also make sure being the best friend.
We'll keep going along for public comment. We'll do one more round of their public comment. Okay, seeing no more public comment, I'm going to close public comment at 7:07. Next up, we'll have our meeting with UConn on Islamophobia. So I have Alia on here. So you'll have 15 minutes for your presentation. I'll let you know you have about 12 minutes left. So then we'll have 5 minutes of questions from the council.
Okay, perfect. Great. Hello. Okay, so I'm going, hi, my name is Alia, and I will be presenting about Islamophobia in the UC system. So this is kind of like more in-depth than just about my meeting with UCOP, just because there's like a lot of background about why it even happened. So yeah, and then I'll be presenting with beautiful Mariam Abdul-Kareem. Do you want to like? Okay. My name is Mariam Abdul-Kareem, I'm a second year. I'm on the Muslim Student Association board. I'm the Sisters Activities Director. So just a bit of what I do there. I just make sure that the new ladies, the transfers, the freshmen, Muslim ladies just feel like they're very comfortable here, feel like they have a community here. So yeah, that's my role. Mariam's been super active and amazing overall, so thanks for that. Okay, so before we start out, can someone tell me what religion I like come from? It should be pretty obvious. It's not a trick question. Anyone? Raise your hand. Go for it. Ariel, you smiling. You want to say it? Yes. All right. Does anybody want to say like what I am as a person? So people who follow Islam are... Yes. Okay, so that's the first correction. We can't learn about a religion if we can't say it properly, and that's not your fault. That's the media's fault in perpetuating Islamophobia, because it's not Islam, it's Islam. So say it with me. Islam. Yes. And we're not Muslim or Muslim, we're Muslim. Muslim. Great. Thanks, everyone. Okay, next one. Okay, so why is this relevant? So Islamophobia still pervades every facet of our nation. For example, Trump loves Islamophobia, keeps perpetuating it, and especially like in this presidential election, like the Republican race has unfortunately perpetuated a lot of Islamophobia, whether that be in the form of saying that Syrian refugees should not enter our country, or that like Muslims are perpetuating terrorism. It's kind of everywhere right now, and unfortunately that also pervades into every household, on students, on campuses as well. The highest cases, so right now in our country is when we're facing the highest cases of Islamophobia. It's actually higher than post 9/11. People thought that post 9/11 was the most hate crimes that Muslims have ever faced. They were wrong. It's actually right now. So some of the reasons why that's happening is because of the attacks in Paris, the San Bernardino shootings, and other things that have been kind of unfortunately associated to Islam. And it's on the UC system as well, and I'm going to talk more about that later. And it's extremely relevant to the UCLA campus because unfortunately it's like pervaded our campus as well. So what is Islamophobia? It's defined as ideologies, beliefs, and actions that perpetuate inaccurate and xenophobic views towards the culture and practice of Islam, and the personification of its followers, such as being seen as monolithic, seen as a separate or other culture that does not share common values. It's seen as inferior to others. It's seen as violent, aggressive, supportive of terrorism, seen as sexist and oppressive of women, seen as a political ideology used for political advantage, Muslim hostility, exclusionary, discriminatory practices against Muslims, etc., etc. So it's not just saying that Muslims are bad. It's associating Islam, especially to like sexism, oppression of women, violence, terrorism, all of the above. So in like instances of how Islamophobia is being perpetuated is the media. Huge. Like even just the fact that most people don't know how to say Muslim correctly, that's the media's fault. And that's something that we should be critical of. So also framing Muslims or people of color who commit violence as terrorists So I think this just happened recently. There was like a really unfortunate shooting that happened a few days ago, but that shooter was not recognized as a terrorist. He was humanized because he was not a person of color. He was not Muslim. And that's really important to recognize because other individuals are recognized as being mentally ill. And that's kind of to say that Muslims and people of color don't have mental illnesses when they're perpetuating these acts of violence. ISIS and Hamas, you can't at Republicans. And especially right now when literally it seems like everything is being tied back to ISIS or Hamas, even on this campus. Corporate media portrayals of Muslims, so kind of again, and even like certain things like in Europe, there was a cover of like a white woman who was being seen as sexually assaulted by like brown arms and hands. So not only was that extremely triggering, but it was like associating Islam and all of these things to like violence and crime and sexual assault. And then instances of increased Islamophobia since the Paris attacks. So I'll go over this at the end if we have more time, but it's basically a really cool link where you can actually spot all of the hate crimes that have happened across the country in just the past year. It's horrible because you see all of the spots that come up, but you can actually like look at it and it's a really cool tool. Thank you. So Islamophobia in the UC and CSU system. So this is stuff that has happened recently and stuff that is ongoing. So this is like another reason why we met with UCOP. And also, this isn't the first time we've met with UCOP. So I met with UCOP with the Muslim Student Association West. So MSA West is like the overarching organization that's in charge of like all of the California MSAs. So they asked one individual from every school to come, and like luckily my MSA like put the trust in me to go there. And so this was kind of to tackle that, but also a follow-up meeting from 2011 and 2012 when we gave them a list of asks, and none of those asks were completed. So there was an attack on a woman in hijab at SDSU. By the way, hijab like means like headscarf. And they had a huge rally. It was amazing to see the solidarity that came out, but super unfortunate to see the violence that happened. There was an invitation for Bill Maher to speak at UC Berkeley commencement last year. That's problematic because he said a lot of really anti-Muslim and racist comments, and students didn't feel safe going to their own commencement with him speaking there. Non-Muslim professors conveying hate speech in Middle Eastern studies courses. So in a lot of cases, there's SWANA or South Asian or Muslim students that are learning about their own culture and background with professors who are not a part of their own identity or narrative who are spewing hate speech at them. Like imagine being in a class of Middle Eastern studies when you're of Middle Eastern or SWANA descent with the professor telling you that your country perpetuates terrorism. Like imagine how that makes you feel. And then David Horowitz posters that were found here at UC San Diego, at UC Davis, and UC Berkeley campuses. This was also something that we brought up with Jan Napolitano. The history of Islamophobia at UCLA. So in 2011, we actually did, like USAC, not us, passed a resolution recognizing Islamophobia at UCLA. So there were a lot of different things that went into that, but actually at the time, it was the same thing that's happening right now, which is unfortunate because 5 years ago, there was the same cycle of Islamophobia that was being perpetuated across the UC. So they made like a task force that was called UC Against Islamophobia. And UCLA was a part of that task force. So in that resolution, they recognized the students who had tried to pull a headscarf off of a Muslim woman's head, similar to what happened at SDSU just a couple months ago. David Horowitz posters literally just happened. In that instance, David Horowitz had called Islam a sick culture. There was a man threatened a group of Muslims on Boone Walk when he said, "You will all end up like the Native Americans." And I think that shows like the discrimination that not only we as Muslims face, but that so many communities of color face. And like kind of this solidarity that unfortunately we have to have because it's the same hate speech. Hate speech perpetuated on campus, especially following violence attacks. So Paris and San Bernardino. Like I saw this firsthand. I was sitting in Kirkhoff and there was a girl talking about how she would never be okay with Syrians coming to our school because of what happened in Paris. And it was amazing enough for me to see an MSA member who was sitting next to her turn his chair around and ask her politely, "Can I speak with you?" And she was like, "Yeah, sure." And he had an extremely calm, educated But unfortunately, that doesn't happen in every situation. This individual himself was a 4th year. So he was kind of like, been there, done that, I've been here for 4 years, and I've heard too much of this. But other students just get bogged down by it. Their mental health is affected by it. Even just their is affected by it. And especially Kirkhoff, where the MSA office is, where council offices are, for them to not feel welcome in that space is not okay. And then a spike in Islamophobic hate speech during spring election cycle. So I've talked to you all about it several times, but I'm going to repeat it, only because I don't want the same thing happening. It's been happening for years and years and years. Every time that there's a Muslim candidate or a Swana candidate, anyone that looks Muslim that is running for USAC, we face the same problems. Lana Al-Farah faced the same hate speech I faced last year, 5 years ago. Why is that happening? Shahid al-Banwal faced the same hate speech I faced last year, 10 years ago. Why is that still happening? So some of the things that I faced was, go back to Syria or Iraq. I'm Indian, so I can't. She's not Indian because she's Muslim. I'm still Indian and still Muslim. How could a Muslim ever represent me? I'm here representing you. You're part of ISIS. I'm not. I would have a lot more money in my budget if I was. Because you're affiliated with SJP, you're in Hamas. No, that's definitely not okay to say. And that was said so many times. I had people yelling in my face telling me that I was in Hamas. I'm still not in Hamas, so. All right, Islamophobic posters and events on campus. So trigger warning, because I'm going to be passing around a poster that was like recently found on campus, and this was one of the David Horowitz posters. And again, trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. If you feel like you don't feel comfortable looking at it, you don't have to look at it. But these are other pictures that were found. So this isn't just David Horowitz posters, who also posted something in the Daily Boom, which was like hate speech. But also because there was an event that Boone Republicans hosted with Ben Shapiro. And the hashtag for it was called Jihad on Campus. Do you want to talk about what jihad actually is, Marianne? Okay. So first of all, a lot of people associate jihad with it being a holy war. So, you know, us Muslims, we just want to go and like just kill everybody that's not Muslim, apparently. That's not the case at all. So like the jihad really just means a struggle. There's different forms of struggling, and like the one that is like mostly focused on is just like the inner struggle with yourself to for Muslims to like just be like better Muslims. So it's really, it has like the main focus is like just like that personal self, not so much trying to go out and fight people because they're not Muslim, because that's not the case. That's not the reality at all in Islam. It does not promote killing people who aren't Muslim at all. There's nowhere in the Quran or in anywhere in Islam that promotes that.
We got about 12 minutes left.
Okay, thank you.
12 minutes now.
Okay, got it. Yeah, and so those are just some of the examples of posters that were found. So the first two were associated with the Ben Shapiro event. The last one was, I don't know if they ever really found a perpetrator for that. And that's like really alarming, especially because all of these posters kind of happened in succession. And for you to walk around campus and for you to just see this, especially for us, like we usually get a picture on our MSA Facebook group that's like, oh my God, this happened. And you just see everyone looking at this. And again, it's like first years, transfer students that are reminded that like, we don't belong here. Examples of hate speech on social media. So this first one is a screenshot of comments, and so again, like this isn't associated to students, or not all of them are associated to students, but some of them are. And so in this case, this is kind of just like to talk about how like the perpetuation of Islamophobia on social media is also like really important. So the first one, it says, wait, what? No, Allahu Akbar from the campus jihadists. This was actually the comments from the Daily Boom video when election results were announced. That's not okay. Also saying, you know, kind of trying to equate Allahu Akbar, which is actually just like a term that says God is great, and associating that to individuals is not okay. And then also this tweet that was like brought up last year as well is kind of like the Islamophobic undertones of what's happening, and also associating it to the fact that it's not just Muslim people, it's Swana and South Asian folks as well. So in our UCOP meeting, we kind of talked about all of this, but our specific asks for Bennett and Napolitano included the institutional creation of a non-denominational prayer and meditation space, which is something that we're also working on. Cultural sensitivity training for UCPD and staff. So this goes a lot along with like the Middle Eastern Studies courses, but also with UCPD because there are a lot of Black and Muslim students who have beards or wear hijab who are specifically targeted by police brutality as well. Mental health resources for Muslim students. So we are lucky because we have actually a Muslim counselor in CAPS, but unfortunately he's not specific to Muslims. So that means that like if I wanted to schedule a personal meeting with this specific counselor, I wouldn't really be able to get around all of the other appointments he has. Okay, great. And then, yeah, and this is what MSC does. Okay, so a couple of things that we did recently. The first thing is Islam Appreciation Week. So that was during third week, and we just had a series of events on Boardwalk where we just had presentations and invited people to come speak to us so they can get to learn about Islam from us. Just so, you know, they can get like the true information from us like Muslim Bruins. We have a weekly Dawah on Boardwalk, so that was just telling people about Islam, giving them information about that. That happens every Friday at about 3 o'clock. Mental health in the Muslim community, so there's a group called the Beautiful Mind Project that just started up, so they can like specifically focus on the mental health in the Muslim community because it is a really big issue. We have Black in MSA, so I identify as a Black Muslim woman, so it is possible for there to be Black Muslims, you know, for it to just happen like in that way, although people don't really think that. We had the Ramadan Iftar, so Ramadan is our holy month that where we fast. So that happened over the summer. We gave people free food. It's time to break fast. We have CPO projects, the IYTP, we have MAPS, we have OMA. IYTP is an incarcerated youth tutorial project, so they specifically work with incarcerated youth just to mentor them, tutor them, and all of that. We have MAPS, the mentoring academic peer, too many acronyms, scholars. So basically, they work with different middle schools and high schools, also tutoring, mentoring inner city youth. And then we have OMA, which is that's just more geared towards like the sciences. So we teach people about health. We have the OMA Clinic that started a couple. We have the Al-Talib News Magazine, which is a Muslim news magazine, so you just get information about what's going on, what's relevant to us. We work with administration. We have been working with administration, and I don't know if you want to talk about the history. Oh, time? Okay, totally fine. Yeah, totally fine. Okay, and then Patty, you can actually move on to the next slide because that's like resources for you. Okay, perfect, thank you.
So we'll go ahead and do questions, and then Katie off. What was the history that you were going to tell us about?
Oh yeah, okay. So history of MSA. MSA has been super involved in like, sorry, I'm gonna just,
I know we know already. MSA is like already involved, has been involved for years and years in like the history of activism and engagement on UCLA campus. So first they were involved in the Third World Coalition, which was like a mix of student groups who wanted to basically like establish activism on campus, like establish their presence on campus. And then that kind of turned into like the other organizations, which MSA is still a part of. And that helps not only maintain their like presence with like the projects that they're a part of, but also making sure that we're reaching out to the greater LA. Are there any other questions from council?
I was wondering, this list we have of like at USAC, would you mind sharing this with the council, like an email or something? Because I feel like this is like, it's really comprehensive, and it would just be nice to have this information so we can access it and also proceed going forward.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then like also, you know, as like a part of MSA, like I'm usually the one like telling you all about all the events. So like just come to the events. They're super informational. It's an open space. It's welcome to everyone. And especially in like the past quarter, we've had some incredible events like Black in MSA and like the mental health and Islam Appreciation Week as a whole. Like I would really love to see you all there. And also IFTARs. So I don't know if you all remember. So I think in June. I know not all of you this year was, I think it was during summer break. But basically, like that was a follow-up to kind of like let you all know that you should come to IFTARs and during Ramadan. So Ramadan is coming up again, you know, so come through. It's really free food. It's like the best way to get to know. Yeah.
Are there any other questions? Yeah. I know in the interest of time, you really skimmed over the asks for OK. Yeah. So maybe you could go back to that slide and spend a little more time talking about what they're asking.
Oh, for sure, yes. Okay, thank you. Okay, so, I'll talk about like the necessity of all of these asks. And again, like these were representatives from every school that got together and like came up with this list of asks and having follow-up meetings to do with a UCOP to make sure that these were actually accomplished. So the institutional creation of a non-denominational grant meditation space is extremely important, especially for us because we're still one of 2 campuses across the UC that doesn't have one. We have a, temporary prayer space, but we don't have a permanent one. And our temporary one also isn't very accommodating because of the space. So it's extremely important because a lot of Muslims that have faced violent attacks especially has been when they were praying out in the open. Or even like verbal attacks was after they were done praying or during them praying. So for them, for Muslim individuals especially, but also for people of other faiths to feel comfortable praying and meditating on this campus, that's extremely, extremely important. That also kind of ties into our establishment of safe spaces and multicultural centers, because in other schools they have multicultural centers, which again, we as UCLA do not, and their non-denominational prayer space is usually located in those multicultural centers, as well as offices of Muslim students and other students like Black students, undocumented students who are kind of all under attack at this time. So having the central location for all of these offices, as well as other spaces for them to utilize in organizing, helps them not only build a sense of solidarity, but have a safe space on campus that they feel comfortable going to. Cultural sensitivity training, I kind of touched on that a little more than others, but mental health resources is extremely important because with the increase in Islamophobia, we're seeing an increase in Muslims actually going to counselors because they're experiencing such high rates of anxiety and depression. So it's like all correlated. So it's like good because Muslims are finally going out and using their resources and making sure to destigmatize the concept of mental health in their communities, but also the fact that they're going because they're kind of being pushed to the edge, essentially, over like not being able to. And then efficient work and good relationships with the administration. So in our meeting with Janet Palatano, we actually talked about 2 specific situations. So at UC Merced, there was a student who had shot like other students. And in that case, that student actually identified as being Muslim. And right away, administration was quick to contact MSA, provide them a safe space, make sure that UCPD was present to protect MSA, make sure to send out the campus that those like this individual was Muslim, this was not reflect the Muslim community. They were there every step of the way for the Muslim community, when they had held a vigil, when they were there for others, to make sure that they felt safe on this campus. And unfortunately, at UCLA, the same hasn't happened. When the David Horowitz posters actually came up, it took a while not only for administration to get back to us, though Jerry Kong was very quick to get back to us, which was great because it's like his position is like working. But otherwise, it was hard because the chancellor didn't send out a similar email. The email that the chancellor sent out actually was largely about the Kanye Western Party, which is definitely important to address. But literally, he had one sentence that was a very like broad and general statement that was like, "Oh, by the way, like don't hate on Muslim students." It didn't address the actual issue, and it's especially problematic that posters by David Horowitz have been coming up on campus for 6, 7, 8, 9 years. And it's the same posters exemplifying the same types of hate speech. And I feel like if admin had taken like a more like active step in trying to get down to the core of like why this is happening and also making sure that students weren't kind of playing into it, I feel like it would have stopped a long time. Yeah.
And we're at 5 minutes, so go ahead and round of applause. Thank you. Thank you so much for presenting. Next up on the agenda, we have a presentation from Online Education and Wireless Internet and Trent Kalikawa. So Trent, you will have 15 minutes. I'll let you know you have about 12 minutes. When you've done 12 minutes, you have 3 minutes left, and then we'll have 5 minutes of questions from the council.
A 7-minute warning. And we have 7 minutes left.
Okay, so you know when you have, okay, so we're 7 minutes, you have 7 minutes left.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay.
So take this a moment.
Hi everyone, my name is Trent Kajikawa. I'm part of, I am the USAC Academic Affairs Commission.
Hello everyone, my name is Ashley Mohan Kumar and I'm currently the Director of Academic Services in the Academic Affairs Commission.
And I'm Allie Miller and I'm the Chief of Staff of Policy of the Academic Affairs Commission.
And so today we're going to be talking about online education and why I was in it. Obviously I've kind of given a ton of officer reports on this, but I wanted to kind of come to council, make a special presentation because there are a couple of important things that AAC is doing and is planning on doing in the coming weeks. We can go on to the next one. So go one back. Yeah. So to kind of start it off, at the end of last year, there was kind of a lot of conversations within administrators, within the Academic Senate, and with the Academic Affairs Commission about really what is online education going to look like here at UCLA. It's a growing component all across the nation, especially when it comes to higher education. And so as a result, they've created the UCLA Steering Committee for Online Teaching and Learning. I serve as the undergraduate representative, and so next week, next Tuesday, I will be serving from 1 to 3 with a bunch of different campus entities ranging from Scott Law, the EVC, Leo Strada, Academic Senate Chair, and a lot of different entities on campus. The main point of this is really, and I really wish Zach was here, but unfortunately he's in Washington, D.C., because he could explain this a little bit probably better than I can. But essentially one of the reasons why we're looking into online education is because a lot of administrators, a lot of professors, a lot of, shall we call them, education experts believe that is potentially one answer to this decrease in state funding that UCLA has been receiving. So as you can see, from 2007 to 2008, we received around $643 million from the state. Last year we received $454. So a significant decrease in the amount of funding that we're getting. So as a result, we really need to look at other ways that we can really maximize our undergraduate experience here at UCLA. To me, this really highlights some unique aspects. Unfortunately, I didn't want to make this too graph heavy, but keep in mind the enrollment here at UCLA has been growing year over year. There's a significant spike in the 2011-2012 year, which is interesting because that was the least amount of funding that UCLA received. Whereas we're at this steady state right now of around 454,000, and that's kind of what we're projecting. However, next year we're going to have over 30,000 undergraduate students. We're projecting an additional 950 of incoming students more than we typically receive. So kind of this is where this new innovative aspect comes in, which is the UC cross-campus enrollment. This is a new, relatively new program put on by UCLP in conjunction with all the different UCs, where all the UCs have partnered up and offer online education for all students all across the UC to enroll. So how many of you have heard about UC cross-enrollment before council, before I mentioned it to all of y'all? Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of us at this table. I was lucky because I had an older brother who came to UCLA, and right before he graduated, he was able to enroll in one of these, specifically the one I'm in right now, which is Spanish 3. And so essentially, if you look at this graph, this kind of highlights, what has happened with UC cross-campus enrollment. So we graduated back in 2011, and it was kind of more of a beta mode, whereas this official campus started in 2014 during winter quarter. The number of breakdowns, unfortunately, it's a little bit small, but you can see it kind of went from 29 starting out that apply. For whatever reason, students may get denied for different reasons, whether or not they have a GPA requirement, they have enough units, whether or not they paid tuition. Students throughout the quarter will drop. Just how at the beginning of this quarter I dropped in my econ classes because it just didn't interest me. Students will drop these classes. But if you look at the end, it's something a little bit alarming. Really kind of less than half of students who initially apply end up completing the class. If you look at this past fall, we had 20 UCLA students apply to classes outside of the UCLA system. Only 6 of them ended up completing one. I was actually one of them. I completed Spanish 2 at UC Davis. And so yeah, so that was kind of a cool thing that I was able to do. Next slide. So here's the list of all the different courses within this UC cross-enrollment. Unfortunately, it's a little bit small. I'll go ahead and send out this PowerPoint as well as post it on our website, usacaac.com. But essentially, you can find kind of this list right here, crossenrolled.universityofcalifornia.edu. This is where you can see all the classes that are being offered for the particular quarter that you're interested in, the different requirements, as well as kind of any additional information if this is of interest. And so in terms of what we've been able to do, I'll go ahead and hand it over to Ali and Ashley. But my kind of last ask is, please share with your networks. As you saw, 6 students, right? 6 students out of the over 29,000 undergraduate students completed a course under the UC Cross Enroll last fall quarter. I think we can do better. I'm going to challenge each and every one of you to potentially tell one other friend so we can get more students involved. The unfortunate reality is UCLA is under severe restraints in terms of the amount of space we have on campus. So points in terms of needing more space on campus. The unfortunate reality with more students coming next year, getting classes is going to become harder and harder. And so one way that a lot of administrators kind of see we can kind of mitigate that is by having more students enroll in online education through kind of this vehicle.
So as a lot of you probably know, students are able to check out laptops through the library system on campus. As long as you're a student or a member of the faculty staff with a valid Bruin card, you can check out a laptop at libraries across campus, most of them in YRL or Powell. You can check it out for 4 hours and then renew it once throughout the day. We're hoping that in giving students access to, a laptop, if your laptop crashes or if you can't afford one of your own, you're still able to take online classes or use them for papers or whatever you need for your education. There's also UCLA virtual counseling, which less people tend to know about, which is something we're trying to work on. We're going to be working really hard on it through the rest of this quarter and into spring. Basically, there's a chat room on My UCLA where you can talk to mentors about what classes you should be enrolling in, majors, minors, a career path that could be suitable for you instead of having to go and have a face-to-face appointment.
Alrighty, so I just want to be curious to see how many people have been affected by lack of Wi-Fi in their classrooms, whether it may be to take notes or in Kirchhoff, whether it may be to cram for their midterm. Pretty much everybody, right? Okay. So this is a problem that Trent wanted to go ahead and solve, and my committee has as well been working on this. And there's a resource called UCLA Bruin Online where you can see on this map where there's different locations that outline where Wi-Fi access can be found. And you see there's Poly Pavilion, which has a lot of access, and all these blue highlighted areas that have campus wireless access as well. I just want to give a huge thank you. It's on the screen here, but for those of you who can't read it, Andrew Weissmiller, the Associate Vice Chancellor of Information and Technology Service, has definitely helped us out tremendously, and Mike Van Norman, who's the Senior Director of Networking and Communications. So this is all thanks to them and the hard work of the Academic Affairs Commission. Next slide. So just to highlight one main point right here, 460 new access points. There are 14,430 seats associated with these 192 general assignment classrooms. That's tremendous improvement across UCLA campus. I really think that this is through the work of the students and the commission, but also through the student voice that has voiced their concerns. Next slide. Thank you. All right, exciting news coming through. We are going to be sending out this survey come spring quarter, week 2. It's the UCLA Wireless Internet Survey. As you can see with our main title, Does Your Wi-Fi Suck? Because sometimes, it does. And we want to hear from the student body exactly where these locations are. If you go ahead and go to the next slide, there's this link. I don't know if you can click on it. I just want to go through maybe the form and how it'll look like in the interface and show how easy and manageable, and we made it very thorough, and where you can kind of scroll down, can specify exactly where your Wi-Fi access is not, up to par. It's separated into arts, library, athletics, different buildings across campus, and, different devices you may be trying to connect with, whether it's your smartphone, your laptop. And yeah, it's pretty, user-friendly, and I'm excited to see how the student body does, voice their concerns in general. So I think it's going to be a great new way to kind of engage that, and we're looking for a lot of new improvements across campus in terms of Wi-Fi. Of course. I think you can just exit out. There we
There
go.
it is.
Yeah, but if we have any questions, we're open to them now.
Okay, we'll take 5 minutes for questions. Any questions for academic affairs commission?
You said big teaching experience and you really specific?
Yes.
Okay, so, I would love to like promote it as well, like, throughout this as well. So maybe that's do that to.
Yeah, definitely, as Trent, talked about, it'd be great if every office should be promoting this, because I think this is an issue that affects, every student across campus.
Yeah.
And, really for me, this was kind of a platform that was criticized by a couple of people in the student body. And for me, in taking a step back, obviously it's like improved Wi-Fi, but the deeper issue is that our education is rapidly changing. We're becoming more, seriously, look at all of us right now. We're all on our laptops. We're all connected. And so the classroom is becoming more and more connected. Literally, our classes might even be completely online. And if that is, UCLA needs to create the infrastructure to help support that. I don't know if that point was, made clearly back then, but hopefully with this presentation, everyone really understands. And hopefully everyone does get on board. The unfortunate reality is, at one point in the near future, UCLA students will probably have taken at least 1 or 2 online classes before they graduate.
So what are the next steps, I guess, after you gather all the statistics, diagnostics, regarding to knowing what it is?
Yes. So one aspect is that we've been working with Bruno. So they have their one aspect of the Information Tech Services Department. But kind of this all started with a conversation that Ian and I had with Andrew Smith and Mike Van Rome. So essentially they are the directors, the vice chancellors, associate vice chancellors who are in charge of these departments. And so they've already been working to improve the new access points, which is essentially the of that nature. And so with them, this data is going to be connected to Bloom Online, which is under their department. Once they collect enough data, then they can go out and kind of troubleshoot and see, okay, what exactly is going on? Exactly, where are students? So for example, from our meeting, I was telling them, on the other side of Moore, Moore Hall, kind of right outside of Kirkhoff patio is kind of patchy, and a ton of students study there. So I mentioned that to them, and they're looking into that. And from my understanding, it's one thing that they've been working on, just talking with them. So.
Are there any other questions?
How did you go about enrolling in the content on Lakers? Is there one specific website to go to, or?
Yes, so if we can go back a couple slides, I think it might be the second last on my part. Here, right here. You can go to crossingworld.universityofcalifornia.edu. You can check it out. They have the list of classes as well as UCLA has its own list, and it kind of tells you, unfortunately it's a little bit vague, but the UCLA applicability, some of these classes will only count towards units. So UC Davis Science and Society 25V, and you will only receive units towards your degree to help you graduate. It doesn't fulfill any particular class here at UCLA. Whereas on the other hand, Spanish 3V fulfills Spanish 3 here at UCLA. So what was really nice for me, just being the person I am, this enrollment for UC Cross Enroll typically happens a week before UCLA enrollment starts for my first pass. So I enrolled in Spanish 3V, knew I had Spanish and could kind of relax and not have to worry about it being a graduating senior. There hasn't been much interest in flying. Yeah. No, we can definitely look into it. As well as there's one thing, we're meeting, as I mentioned before, I'm meeting with the registrar next quarter, at the beginning of next quarter. These classes are on the registrar when you look at schedule of classes that a lot of students use. It's just students don't necessarily click on it, and it's not very visible. And so that's something else that we're trying to work on. But yeah, no, definitely that's something interesting. I can talk to, I believe it'd be undergrad ed. I could talk to and try and have some of their student workers help us out and fly.
Okay, we have time for one more question.
Can I ask a question to council? Ask who plans on enrolling in a UC Cross Enroll in the near future? What class are you in? Oh, nice. Very cool. Very cool. Also, just another thing, side note, obviously being an AAC is great. I ended up with an A in Spanish too, but due to transcript things, I got a B+. So that's like one thing we're working on, is trying to figure out how to make the system a little bit more efficient in terms of communication. Obviously, like, this is a relatively new program, and so we're still working out the kinks. But just know for everyone here that your AAC is working on it.
Okay, so a round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you. So next up on the agenda, we have one appointment for faculty welfare for Caitlin Porker. So Trent, if you want to go ahead and stay, we need like a couple of seconds.
Yes.
Okay. For the description, and after you give that, I'll hand it to Heather or the ERC.
So I can kind of say briefly that, generally speaking, AAC does not have a component in the middle of the school year, but unfortunately, the appointment that you made, let me know that unfortunately I stepped down, may not be attending UCLA in the spring. So with giving kind of the uncertainty, he just recommended that someone else step up to the plate from that AAC with someone else. So the Committee on Faculty Welfare is charged to advise the division, UCLA, agencies on all matters involving their economic welfare, including but not limited to the level of salaries, salary determination methodology, benefits, retirement, housing, and conditions of employment. To me, this is extremely important, given the fact that there is a new pension system. We've pushed upon the UC system, specifically at UCLA. And so, as much as we like, oh, you don't necessarily need someone per se, like, this year especially, you need someone who's going to be highly academic, maybe someone who's knowledgeable, and given all of that.
Okay.
So how does the ERC work?
Right, so it is a consent appointment, but I asked to have an in-person interview with ARC just because I wanted to kind of put her application, her resume to the person, kind of find out the story to her application and her resume, and so she passed with 300 vote. I think that she's going to be a great appointment. Okay, so this is a consent item. So is there any discussion regarding the appointment of Caitlin Corker to the faculty welfare? Yep.
Just to clarify, because I wasn't here at the beginning, was it changed from action item to consent?
Yes. Okay, so any discussion or objections? Okay, seeing none, Caitlin Corker has been approved by consent to faculty welfare. Next up, we have officer and member reports. So last Wednesday, I had the pleasure of meeting with Leo Estrada, with Trent Kajikawa. Leo Estrada is the chair of the Academic Senate. I believe this is the second meeting of this quarter that we've had. There's the end of fall, beginning of winter, like very recently. So it's our second follow-up meeting. So we discussed a lot about the enrollment plans. So as you are aware, we're projected to get a little under 1,900 new students. And so we talked about some of the issues that you face with small class sizes. There is, as you all know, a lot of issues with students in terms of the floor, not having enough teaching assistants to especially to classes. We discussed that. I also talked to him about dead days and kind of the advocacy plan going forward. So we're looking forward to doing more with that come the end of winter and beginning of spring quarter. Last Thursday, we had a meeting with the student regent. Thank you for everyone who attended. It was myself, Heather Borthman, Alia, Lexi, and who was it? Emma. That's it. That was it. So this was a great opportunity for us to meet with our student regent, who does try to make himself as accessible as possible. It was a little disappointing not to see more council members present, especially we talked about really big issues that face UCLA as well as the USC system. I understand a few of you have classes, but hopefully in the future, if we do have another opportunity to talk with the student regent, we can get higher attendance, because I think it really was very beneficial. And thank you for everyone who had come out on Thursday to speak with him. I had a meeting last Friday with Kim Kovacs, who is for government relations on the federal branch. We were just kind of touching base about some of the initiatives going forward with Pell Grants and the Higher Education Act. Zach is probably talk more to you all about that when he gets back from Washington, but it kind of sounds like the Higher Education Act is not going to be discussed until next year. It was projected to maybe be discussed later on, but because of the election, everything looks like it's being put off for a little bit. I met with Joseph Brown, who's one who will be organizing commencement. He has come to me to recruit So pay attention, recruit 2 for the speaking committee and 2 seniors for the singing committee. So these committees will be choosing who the student speaker will be and who the student singers will be. So if you all know any senior friends or you yourself would like to be on these committees, please let me know. I'll send you all an email, but I'm looking for 2 seniors for each committee, so a total of 4. Additionally, tonight my office launched the Don't Be a Painful campaign on social media. An email to all of you, but I appreciate you all sharing it or pass it on to your offices. Additionally, if you have any events or anything that you would like to add to it, please let me know. So anything relating to explaining more about an identity, any sort of educational knowledge or an aspect. A couple of you have sent me events. Trinity sent me for Education Week, so thank you so much. But if any of you all have any other events coming up in the near future, please let me know and I can incorporate it on our calendar. Additionally, we have a few appointments left that I would ideally like to fill very soon. Specifically, there was an opening I mentioned a couple weeks ago in the Community Activities Committee. I forwarded that opening to our SIOC appointment to see if she has no recommends. But if you have any other students, please feel free to forward on that application. Additionally, we have 1 opening for the Student Conduct Committee. We have 1 for Information Technology Planning Board, 1 for Committee on Instructional Improvement Programs, 1 for Advisory Board on Privacy and Data Protection, and then the Committee on Disability, who's still vacancies in those. So again, if you know anyone who'd be interested, please let me know. These are ones that I have not gotten applications for. So if you know anyone who'd be interested, please advise them to apply so we can fill those spots. I'll take questions at the end. And actually, that is it. District officer reports, the question? Yeah.
These appointments are 1 year, 2 year terms, or they're very young.
It's all on the appointments online. I don't have the numbers in front of me, I just have the name of the positions. But for the most part, I believe they are mostly 1 year. There is one of them, I can't remember off the top of my head, that is like the duration of your career at UCLA. I can't remember if it's Student Conduct Committee or Committee on Disability, one of them. But it's all available on the website. If you just go to the recent post from the recent post on the Office President Facebook page, it has the appointments. We're also looking for an internship engagement chair as well. So if anyone is interested in that, please let me know. So are there any questions? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to our internal vice president. Are there more questions?
All right. So today I met with the ACBD and the Safety Security Committee to discuss ways in which that they can support the Let's Get Lit lighting campaign. I asked for different departments to support this because I think that in order for this to be effective, we need to have all hands on deck. And they were really receptive. They were really excited about it. So I look forward to working with them in the future. Last week I went to this programming seminar that was comprised of different departments within student affairs. So it was like Soul, Res Life, people from pre-K students, and ways in which they could revamp their programming and tailor it specifically to UCLA students so that they are staying in touch with current trends. So it was really interesting. I look forward to follow-ups with them. Last week, Zach and I met with the funding study group, the different chairs of the different USAC funding bodies to kind of see where they're all at in their guidelines, to see where they're at as far as moving all of the deadlines to be 3 weeks prior to the event so that there is a streamlined process for that. And also if they were able to convert their applications to a format that would work for the website. So I really look forward to following up with them this week. Everyone seems pretty receptive to that, but for all of so please sign up. We're going to be launching the link on social media starting tonight at 8 p.m. So I'll share that again with all of you. Please send with all of your networks. Very exciting. This coming Friday, Marvin and I will be meeting with Yanina, Steffi, Brian McDonald, Kevin Darby, who else? And Denise Pacheco, and everyone who went to the Interfaith Dialogue Conference over the summer. This will be a follow-up to the interfaith discussion that we're having in a possible institutionalized interfaith council here at UCLA. It would be really cool. And also this Friday, Heather and I will be meeting with the Senior Class Giving Project in order to see how USAC can be incorporated into their campaign.
Any questions for the interim vice president? Okay, we'll move on to our administrative representatives. Roy is not present. Dr. Geller?
Nothing to announce this week.
Okay, I will start. All right, Trustee Melton? Okay, Patty's open.
Just one thing, I sent out an email yesterday about the Bruin Day poster. I will need any edits to the language by tomorrow, if possible. And we'd love to have some recent photos, so we're not using last year's pictures. So, send us any, as many photos so we can have choice to add those. If we have people like Bruin Bash pictures, we would love that too. We usually have a Bruin Bash photo on that as well. And then if you want to check Heather put that first statement over, so don't feel like you have to change it if you don't want to, but you have the option to change it. And all of the blurbs have, sometimes have been used over the years, but if you want to update your language, feel free. But if I don't receive anything from you by tomorrow, let's say 5 or we'll just keep keeping it as is. Just changing it.
Thank you. Any questions?
So, I sent over some stuff.
Yeah, I forwarded that on. I think that was one of my. Any other questions? I received one more recently. Okay. Any other questions? All right, seeing none, we'll go on to our fund allocations for contingency programming.
Yep, they contribute some applied to contingency. 2 of them were USAC offices, and they were Casper, the Child Serving Music Festival, and General Representative 2 for the Bruin City Final Speech Festival. They required $190,180.66, requested $1,982.70, and the finance committee recommended $460.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve? Doc?
I move to approve the contingency allocation for $460.
Is there a second? Second by Ariel. Any discussion regarding the allocations? Okay, seeing none, we'll go to a vote. All those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Those against? And those abstained? 1. To a 10-0-1 decision, the contingency programming allocation is then approved. Stephanie, and then.
And so the others, students who certified, there were 16 of them. They required $42,303.01. They requested $13,404.79, and the finance committee recommended $3,503. And the amounts for required were just a lot because Jazz Reggae required a lot for the facility. That's that much, that was the amount, that was the cost. And then for the student groups, the Roslyn Youth Conference required about $22,000 for all of their, so that's how the numbers are required.
So it's $192,000. Combined for USAC and non-USAC?
Oh, no, that was just USAC, but that was for TAC and general representatives.
So which one was it?
General representative 2 does require $97, and then Jazz Reggae.
Okay. So then this second allocation is just for the student conference, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So get a motion. Jack?
I move to approve the contingency allocation for student groups for $3,503.
All right, is there a second? Second by Danny. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll go to a vote. All those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Those against? Those against, and those abstain, 1. To a 10-0-1 decision, the allocation's been approved. Yes.
That's a good question.
Yes.
So, or I guess this is more to Amy, so Jazz Radio required $192,000 approximately for Jazz Radio Fest.
So when this applied, because I told them to apply.
So you know what I mean, but like you listed $192,000 as required, not what you requested, like as required.
No, it's not required. So next week, there's going to be Jazz Radio's completion presents. So any questions you have in terms of numbers will be answered.
Yeah, and then I can also answer, a lot of times big groups may over or underestimate, or these are estimates, so they might, they're not necessarily like invoices to the vendors, et cetera, but there's a customer.
Any other questions? Okay. Next up, we have the Academic Success Referendum Fund.
Yes. The Chicano is Latinos for immediate medicine. They're having their teenage dreams, tomorrow's accomplishments, creating leaders for community medicine. The answer has been allocated $600 to them. Global Consent Coalition is having their awareness, advocacy, and activism, some mental health promotion and sexual violence prevention. The answer has been allocated $750 to them. Then the USAC Financial Supports Commission requested money for their advocacy calculator and the Corona Library, and we're going to allocate $1,500.
Okay. This is a consent item, so is there any discussion or objections regarding the ASRF allocations? Seeing none, they've been approved by consensus. We have no old business. We have no new business. So next up, we have announcements. If everyone has the opportunity to fill out the Google Doc, I will open the floor for any questions or any additional events or programming things that have been added since this evening. Does anyone have anything? Andy?
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to add this in the announcements, but if y'all are interested, tomorrow in Crookout Grand Salon from 11 to 2, we're hosting a Bruin Political Resource Fair. We're calling it the Bruin Political Party, and basically we're bringing a lot of different interest groups, advocacy groups, political campaigns from around California to students to network with and get opportunities to engage in internships, hopefully a volunteer opportunities. So if you want to pass it along, or if you're interested, if you want to get involved in a campaign this summer, stop on by.
Great. Are there any other questions? Or I'm sorry, questions or any recently honored events? Okay, seeing none, I can go ahead and entertain a motion to adjourn.
I used to adjourn at the old board.
Is there a second? Second by Ariel. All those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Those against? And those that abstain? To 11-0-0 vote, I adjourn the meeting at 8:04. Okay, now Amy, please turn on the live, and Stephanie, could you please pass around the sign-in